Port Harcourt today from the British Secretary of State. I don't know if I'm still being heard. Because he gave a very good analogy comparing a lazy man with a young lady that has all the means to take care of her family. So because of that, they also said to him and said, don't worry, we will create a state in the Biafra land and name it after you, so that your name will keep on ringing generations after generations. So they named that city Port Harcourt, which is still existing today. And many of us have been to Port Harcourt. Many of us have also lived in Port Harcourt. So Nigeria's own first Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, said it himself. I'm going to read what he said. He said, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. Nigerian unity is a British intention for the country. Did you hear what your first minister said? Nigerian unity was never a Nigerian idea. Nigeria's own first prime minister said it loud. On record, though, it was a British intention imposed. Do you see that we also have a second amalgamation of another Beke that wants to be imposed on the Biafran people? British imposed this on us. It is British intention. It wasn't chosen by the people. And everything that has happened in Nigeria since 1914 is the consequence of that imposition. This is the reason why me and you have to fight against anybody that is bringing another experiment to test with the Biafran people. It will not work. We will come there later. Let's finish with Nigerian case first, which is the first amalgamation. Now, if you look at that story, look at what happened. Tinubu went to UK. Instead of Charles to say, oh, we have seen a lot of genocide that has been happening, the same genocide that Chatham House has reported. They have read the news, they have read the article, but still they said, no, our unity is not negotiable. Boko Haram must keep on killing. We will give you weapons to make sure that Boko Haram keep on killing. The amalgamation must continue. But we, the Biafran people, say no. We want the amalgamation, because that is what will bring peace. Your amalgamation, as Tafawa Balewa said, it is not yielding any fruit. We are not willing. He said they do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. It is so bad that if you even have anything to do with a Yoruba person already knows inside him or her that he is not you, that you have nothing in common with him. A Northerner knows that you, Biafran, you are a different entity entirely. They know it. Even with having anything to do with them, we know that these people are not the same people with us. We don't share the same genealogy with them, nothing. We are not the same. We don't even reason like them. So that demarcation is always there. Even when they don't want to speak it out, it is there, deep down inside them. We don't trust ourselves because we are not the same set of people. And we are not even willing to unite. We don't want. The way we Biafrans reason is totally different from the way a Northerner would reason. And it's different from the way a Yoruba person would. Forget about this marriage thing. They are deceiving themselves. I am telling you, I'm not to anybody apology. It's not about love. You are pretending that you are happy where you are. You are not even sure of your security. Because a Yoruba man can get up one day and say, end this thing, go back to your Biafra land. What will you do? All this marriage I'm saying is ceremonial. A Yoruba man marrying Igbo man, or a Igbo man marrying a Yoruba man. I don't know, I'm just saying my mind because nah, these people don't trust us. They don't. This marriage is conditioned. It's a conditional marriage. That is the way I'm saying it, because we can never be one. We were forced together. The whole tribe forced together. And now they come to our side to still force themselves on us. Because they feel that they have security once they are able to marry a Biafran. So it is an investment for them. They are beginning to secure their future because they know that one day Biafra will be free, while terrorists will take over them. So it's like a security for them and an insurance as well. Oh, if the terrorists take over Biafra land, they'll say, I am in-law. They will protect me because I am their in-law. That is what they are doing. If I've offended you, sorry, but that is the truth. You see? So they impose this thing on us. And everything that has happened since then is the consequence of that amalgamation. So the name Nigeria was invented by a British journalist by name Flora Shaw in 1897. That is the woman that gave Nigeria this name that we are bearing today. A name that once they hear Nigeria, people may, if you're not careful, they spit on your face. And later she became Lugard's wife. Whatever you do for Britain, they will always compensate you. They've compensated Tinubu, they've compensated Ribadu, they've compensated, what is her name? Bianca Ojukwu. All of them that decided and accepted to play the template of Britain, they have compensated them. The other one gave analogy of a man and a woman. They said, okay, let us name a city after you so that they'll always remember you. Now Flora now said, okay, I have come up with a new name to give to these people, Nigeria. And Lord Lugard said, oh yeah, come and be my wife, let me use that and settle you. So that is what has been happening. And we have 112 years of consequences from a direct, a deficit to 50 to 100,000 bodies every year that has been killed by Boko Haram. Lugard amalgamation created what I called a structural impossibility. That one is my own English. A structural impossibility. Two different governance systems forced into one box to manage the North without resistance. And he used indirect rule, keep the emees in power. And he told them, keep your court, keep your title, just answer to me. So that division became the permanent fault line of Nigeria. The same north-south tension, the same federal resource flowing to manage a region that was never self-sufficient. The same oil from the southeast Biafra land disappearing into Abuja's allocation formulas. And the Biafra War from 1967 to till date, I don't like ending it in 70, was the first explosion of that original violence. That was the first explosion of it, where more than 5 million people died. But what happened? They were still pumping weapons to Nigeria. And when it ended, the government said there is no victor, no vanquished. But the restructure, the reconstruction money for the Biafra land and Biafra territory never came. The agreement they had never came. The old Biafran currency was exchanged at a rate that was wiped out. That rate wiped out the life savings of millions completely. They made sure that it was useless, valueless, so that you could not even be proud of your Biafra currency then. And the oil under the federal government that had just spent 3 years bombing the Biafran people. No victor according to what they said, no vanquish, but all the oil belongs to Abuja. That is what that phrase meant in practice. And now if you look at 2026, the Global Terrorism Index ranked Nigeria as the 4th most terrorized country in the entire planet. They should give us number 1. They are not sincere in their data. Nigerians killed by terrorism in 1 year. More than 100,000 people have been killed. And it is the largest in the whole world. So why would they not be the 4th? So they should keep the Nigeria as number 1. Number 1. Nigeria should be number 1. And we saw what Tinubu did a few days ago, when he went to London for what was called the first state visit by the West African leader to the UK in 37 years. I'm like, did he tell them the number of people that have been killed within these 37 years? The answer is no. There was no discussion of such. They took a photograph, they were dancing and smiling, carried in carriages, everybody smiling. Akpabio was like, let me not fall off from this carriage because he's not used to it. I could see it on their faces. Because in Nigeria, they drive inside Jeep. Well balanced. They were afraid. And at the heart of it, a defense minister that called himself Musa signed new security agreement. So Britain now share intelligence with Nigeria on counter-terrorism. But before I even get to that security agreement, I need to explain that the 746 million deal that people are jubilating without understanding what it means will be shocking. Even though we have said this before a few days ago in our space, but just a little recap that 746 million pounds is a financing package to refurbish two Lagos port complexes, not in Biafra land though. Lagos Port Complex at Apapa and the Tinkan Island Port Complex. They did not make any reference or even mention Biafra land seaport that we have everywhere. And they said that this port need work. And I'm going to tell them that they do not need. The question is, who will benefit from the deal and how? We have said it before. We need to leave this country if you are ready to fund your freedom. Because the money is coming from UK Export Finance, and that is Britain's own government export credit agency. And here is the condition built into the structure of that financing. Now, at minimum, 20% of all the contracts under this deal must go to British companies, point one. That means that at least 236 million pounds of Nigeria's borrowed money is required by the loan term to flow directly back to British businesses. And Nigeria is borrowing money that comes with a legal obligation to spend a fifth of it in Britain. When we say that Nigeria is surrounded by idiots, people say that we are insulting people. How could you, a finance minister, advise your country to go into such a deal? How could you? Who are those in his cabinet? Who are those advising this drug lord? They don't have brain. And who got the first and biggest contract? It is British Steel that got the contract. British Steel Company. A company that was facing permanent closure just last year. A company whose two blast furnaces in Scunthorpe in England were about to be shut down permanently. You can answer that and said, oh, which one is the most stupid? What do you call? Is there any word that stupidest? Please help me. Is there any word like that? Stupid? Somebody help me.
Even if
Is there?
even if there's no word like that, Nigerians are used to creating grammar, so we can give them that. It will suit them. They are
Okay, thank you.
the stupidest people on planet Earth. What would they?
So imagine they just said that of the country in the world will fall for this trap. Let's see which country has the most worst leader who reasoned through his annals. And they said, we got it. We got a catch. Nigeria will fall for this. And then they now carry phone and call Bianca Ojukwu. Call all of them that are in that circle. First of all, call the ambassador if they still have. Can you play this card? Throw it out. Throw the net out. Let's see if we can catch the fish. Bam! They jumped at it. Because this company was about to be shut down permanently in England, which would have meant the end of primary steel making in United Kingdom. So Britain's own government stepped in and spent 377 million of taxpayer money to keep British steel alive. That's what they did. And then weeks later, Nigeria's deal provided British Steel with £70 million contract for 120,000 tons of steel billets. That is what Nigeria did. And people may say, what is this steel billet? It is a semi-finished steel product. You know, a thick rectangular bar of steel that gets rolled or pressed into construction material. So they go through this process, and then at the end of it, you have they make it into a construction material. It is not a finished structure yet. No, it is a raw industrial input that will be needed. Okay, so Nigeria is now borrowing 746 million, and part of that money now is buying semi-furnished steel bars manufactured at Scunthorpe, England, not manufactured in Nigeria. It is not manufactured in Nigeria. And I want you to hear how the UK Trade Secretary Peter celebrated this deal in London. He said, and I'm going to use his exact word that is verifiable. He said, "This is a major win for British Steel. Hey, this contract will do what? This contract will reinforce British Steel world-class expertise while supporting jobs." Did you hear? While supporting jobs and growth in Scunthorpe. Scunthorpe, he celebrated jobs in Scunthorpe, and Nigeria is taking £746 million loan from these people. So Nigeria will repay that loan with interest. And the Britain Trade Secretary is celebrating job in Scunthorpe. Now, who will be paying this loan back? It is you, the Biafrans, that will pay, not the Yorubas. Because you don't want to support your freedom. You don't want to give us your IOU. You are very comfortable in Nigeria. Now, something just entered my head now. Have you seen the missiles that is prepared by Iran? The range now has reached 4,000 kilometers, right? You see why you are in a death trap, because Nigeria will do everything possible to bid with Iran. Nigeria will make sure they protect Iran's interests. Can you see why Nigeria never arrested all the members of Islamic movement of Nigeria when they came out and trampled on the flag of US and Israel? They dare not. Because Nigeria knows that Iran has missile that the range can extend to Nigeria. Yes, so any attempt, they will bring down Nigeria. So in Nigeria is yes, sir, to Iran. All the money that